The day of the imposter Princess Amelia's visit to Nelson's Hood arrived with an air of tension that hung over the village like a storm cloud. The villagers had gathered in the central square, awaiting her arrival, their whispers filled with curiosity and apprehension. I stood among them, disguised in the attire of a commoner, with Marjorie and Samuel nearby. We had prepared for this moment meticulously, and the plan was simple. I would confront the imposter and expose her true identity in front of the villagers. The royal procession soon entered the village, with guards on horseback and a grand carriage that bore the royal crest. A woman, elegantly dressed and adorned with jewels, emerged from the carriage. She was the spitting image of the princess I had once impersonated, and her presence was both imposing and convincing. As the imposter, Princess Amelia, addressed the villagers, she spoke with eloquence and charm, recounting stories of her disappearance and her triumphant return to the palace. The villagers listened with rapt attention, their skepticism giving way to awe. But I knew the truth, and it was time to reveal it. Stepping forward, I raised my voice so that all could hear. "Stop!" I called out. "This woman is not Princess Amelia." The imposter turned to face me, her eyes narrowing in surprise and annoyance. The villagers gasped, their attention now fully focused on the confrontation unfolding before them. I continued, my voice unwavering. "I am Emma, the true Princess Amelia, and I have returned to expose this deception." A murmur of disbelief swept through the crowd, and the imposter's face contorted with anger.
"How dare you?"
she hissed. "You're an imposter trying to steal my identity." I knew that the situation had become a dangerous standoff, and I had to prove my claim. Marjorie and Samuel stepped forward, providing evidence that only those who had been in the palace during my time as Princess Amelia could know. Marjorie recounted the secret passages within the palace, describing their locations and purpose. Samuel spoke of the hidden garden, known only to the true royal family, and its significance to me during my time in the palace. The imposter's confidence wavered as the truth began to emerge, and the villagers listened intently, their doubts growing. But she still clung to her deception, insisting that I was an imposter sent to discredit her. It was then that I revealed the final piece of evidence, a necklace that had belonged to Princess Amelia. It bore a unique inscription known only to the royal family. As I held it aloft, the imposter's face drained of colour and she faltered. With a sense of victory, I addressed the villagers once more. "This necklace belonged to the true Princess Amelia. I have carried it with me to prove my identity." The imposter's facade crumbled, and she was left with no choice but to confess her deception. She had been a commoner who had sought power and privilege by impersonating me, and her allies within the palace had assisted her in the charade. The villagers, initially taken in by her deception, now turned their anger toward the imposter. She was escorted away by the guards, her reign of deception brought to an end. The cheers of the villagers filled the air as they celebrated the revelation of the true Princess Amelia. I may have returned to the palace as an imposter, but in Nelson's Hood, I was embraced for who I truly was, an ordinary girl named Emma. As the village rejoiced, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of gratitude for Marjorie and Samuel, who had stood by me throughout this journey. With their support, I had uncovered the truth and returned to my authentic life in Nelson's Hood. The bewildering daily matters of the palace were behind me, and I had found my true place among the people who knew and loved me for who I was. My adventures had led me on a remarkable journey, but it was here, in the village of Nelson's Hood, that I had truly found my home and the happiness that had always been mine.